record to this computer. Okay, so just hang tight. We're in the middle of flowing here. Um, and for the sake of the recording, I want to just review real quickly some key phrases that we got out of this 11 hours with Tony Robbins. One of them is just show up. You know, that's a key skill. And then keep showing up because we're in the long game. And if you want a couple of phrases that let you say just about anything to anybody, one of them, which I've used twice now, and wow, I mean, it's so cool, it works, is I'm not holding anything back. Well, if you said I'm not going to hold anything back, I'm not holding anything back, then pretty soon you can say, which is what I ended up saying, in the spirit of not holding back, I have to tell you. And then I told him what it was about some potential products for his cancer that he's got going on in this case. And normally I don't, once somebody has said I'm going into hospice, most of the time they're done hearing stuff, or they don't believe them anyway. But I was able to ease that in. And then the other is, if it feels like I'm nudging you in the direction of fill in the blank, in the direction of looking at these natural products, if it feels like I'm nudging you in the direction of using this lead program that, where you get to email, but whatever, I am, because you really need it. It just bridges the gap so nicely between saying it and receiving and getting over the bumps of feeling like you're being salesy or whatever. So there, now we're kind of caught up. Long game. And now creating a compelling future. What is it? What mark or difference do you want to make in your life? That's what's going to keep you going. As Tony said, once you've gotten done getting off the couch because somebody set fire to it, right? I'm a couch potato, but I'm not going to be while it's burning because somebody poured gasoline on it, right? Here's the deal. If you don't have a compelling future to keep you moving forward, you'll replace the couch and get back on it.
Mm.
Okay, we don't want to do that. So, to that end, then, as you're now looking at where I am, where I want to be, what's the gap? What does it take to fill that? Is it going to be time? Is it going to be money that you need? Is it going to be skills that you need to pick up? Whatever it is to fill that gap. And it's going to fall into two separate categories. What do you need to do to you? Do you need to learn something? Do you need to, which we're going to be talking about, overcoming certain things that we do automatically. And then we have the vehicle, the business, the company, the whatever is going to create the cash flow. This was a big breakthrough for me because, which I'll tell you exactly how it went. I discovered through this whole 4 days, didn't really discover, I reaffirmed the difference I personally like making is helping people improve their lifestyle. You live better, feel better, be better. Okay. Well, a lot of people like, that's a thing. I like to make life better for people. Well, all right. Better in what areas? Well, I want all the fat people to be skinny. Cool. I want all the sick people to be healthy. Cool. I want all the people with wrinkles and bad skin to have pretty skin now. Cool. Right? There's people out there hit all those categories. I want people that are struggling financially to be able to stop struggling. All right. Now, this was an area where we kind of missed the boat over many, many years. by picking the wrong vehicle to do that with. Now, between Tony and us and our own many, many years at this, looking over the past, we knew better, but yet you want to, take your shot and give it a chance. But really, really looking at what is it you, me, want to accomplish in making our mark or making the difference for people, right? You've got to be able to evaluate your vehicle, the company, the tool you're going to use. And we were in a lot of them over the years where we knew going in this company is never going to last 5 years, you know,
Mm. Yep.
just not. Or the compensation structure was such that it's so freaking complicated and hard and everything that, yeah, I can manage my way through it and make some money, but poor Bob over here, he's screwed, because he can never get the exact number of people on the front line to go with the people on the second line, and there's people that are in other comp plans where they have so much breakage built in, and if you knew how to look for that, right, all these things. So I took a real hard look at Melaleuca. Well, 2.5 billion a year, 40 years of experience, making all their own stuff, literally in house. I think they even make a lot of their own packaging. Um, all of that took a lot of the angst out of, are these guys going to hold their water together long enough for me to get what I want out of it? Yeah, not a problem. They've paid out $7 billion in commissions.
Mm.
So, okay, got that. But then with 450 different products and a great comp plan, if my motivation was, look, I want to help people get thin, they've got a whole product category in weight loss. They've got a whole product category in home, toxin-free home stuff. I mean, you can't think of a category that in lifestyle that they can't address. Nutrition, health, snacks, beef, uh, over-the-counter drugs. They make their own. What else? I just saw one I didn't even know they did. Nuts, snack nuts.
Hmm.
Um, and then financially speaking, my mission in terms of the first rank I want to hit is senior director. That means I have personally sponsored 20 people. 5 of them have gotten 8 of their own customers. So we're not talking huge here, right?
Hmm.
And the group volume is 20,000 points in a month. That's also not huge. And that's getting there will pay me $30,000 to $35,000 and about $2,000 a month in repeatable, they call it repeatable, not residual income. Okay. Well, so again, just kind of going on record here. And I didn't even know that. My sponsor revealed that income level to me. So here the other night, like 2 nights ago, I was asking him, talking to him, and said, my actual first, like call it base camp 1 on the way to wherever. Base camp 1 level is 7,500 a month. I want to get there. What rank do I need to be to do that? And it turns out that he's an executive director 6, ED6, and he makes more than that, quite about double that. But he told me, executive director 2, 3, right in there. All right, so to be an executive director 3, I need 20 personals. That part never changes. It's once you hit 20, you're good. Group volume 70,000. I need 10 actively enrolled senior directors. So that means they've got 20 of their own and so on. five directors within their group. So 10 of those guys. And oh wait, no, that's wrong. 10 active directors. That means 10 of my group of my personals. I'm looking first, yeah, have 8 customers of their own and one senior director. And I'm there. All right. So being able to clearly define your compelling future in the Tony thing is, if you can't do that, you better get on it fast
Hmm.
because that's what will pull you through and keep you going. Right. Well, I now know what I got to do. Okay, we'll pause for any questions up to this point. Good.
I have a question.
All right.
Have you been able to find anyone from the leads to join Melaleuca?
That's a great question. No, not
Mhm.
yet. And so let's pause for the cause and talk about that for a second. Just because it's real life. And in fact, I just had that conversation with a new guy that's in Legal Shield, and that's what he's marketing to. All right. And we know that people taking action requires a certain number of, call it, touches. Once in a while, we hit the advantage of reaching out to somebody and they've had these touches from a different source. Like they were already exploring Melaleuca, already exploring Legal Shield, already exploring whatever. And along comes us with an email, or it could have been a call or a text, what some touch from us, right? Where they go, wow, you know, I really like the way Wayne presented whatever it was. And I'm already looking at Melaleuca and I like Wayne's vibe, and bam. And Wayne goes, am I good or what? I just did a one call close. All right. Not knowing this person just spent the last 5.5 months researching, Melaleuca or whatever. But in real life, we don't have another ongoing source of potential leads anywhere else at 100 a day for $30 a month, and the ability to communicate with them built in. We know that if you don't know right now industry standards in today's climate with so much market noise out there, that they're saying somewhere between 25 to as high as 50 touches that they get from you before they finally go, wow, this Wayne, Charlie, Jim is legit, because your story stays consistent. And this is why it's so important to be able to wait. Or Charlie and I were looking at his stats, but this is why it's so important to be able to look in your back office and see this many were sent, this many got opened. The subject line is what makes people open your email. If your subject line sucks, you'll see the open rates in the 5% range. If you have a good subject line, you'll see as high as a 20% open rate, which is like huge. Then you'll see the click-throughs and the click-through percentage. What determines whether they click your link or not? What did you say in that email? The copy. So now you got, okay, now you're tracking, you can see you're getting pretty good at subject lines. So your open rate is up in the 15-20% range. And then you got pretty good copy in there. And so you see your CTR, click through rate, is up in the 15-16% range or better. Wow. If you're not getting conversions, meaning signups, then it's one of a couple things. Number one thing to look at is how many times have they looked?
And can I hold you up for just a moment
Yeah,
there,
go
Jim?
right
Because
ahead.
that actually is a really key question. I was just looking through this. Do we do we know who's opening these emails?
No.
We don't. Okay. So in I'm just going to state this real quick.
Hmm.
One of the
Yeah.
things that I've contemplated, I'm probably going to do it, is utilizing a tool like Brevo. Um, it allows for $8 a month, you can you can set up the campaigns. You can automate the whole campaign,
Hmm.
which I am probably going to do with what I'm trying to do.
Hmm.
The the reason I bring that up is because you do get the ability to see who's opening those. Not
Right.
only that, you can push them into a different branch.
Right.
So that's why I'm bringing that up. The other question I had for Wayne, um, so and actually to answer, uh, I'm going to say that actually Jim has had somebody that he signed up for Melaleuca. He signed me up for both. It's a really interesting story. He and I actually talked about your very question. That that was an important piece for me. What you didn't hear when you had jumped on the call was what I had told him just before that. I was showing him my stats from the first campaign that I've done, which is going to be basically 9 days and then four more separated out days, if you will. They're going to be delayed. But here's the deal. I'm playing the long game. My goal is trust, 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 trust. I learned something a few years ago. I was part of another organization, and there was somebody that had mentioned your business is the company that you're with. And I totally disagree with that.
Right.
It is not the business that you're with. It is the people that you signed up underneath you. That's your business. Because if they trust you and they bring something to your attention, or what's the likelihood that they'll sign up for that? If they trust you, that's almost like money in the bank. Why do the people like the Russell Brunsons, the Tony Robbins, and I could go on. Why do those people have such an incredibly high conversion rate? Because they are immensely trusted.
Hmm.
That's the key. So, Wayne, I would say this, and I don't know how long you've been doing this. If you don't mind me asking, how many people have you converted on the MLGS?
Zero.
Oh, he
Okay,
hasn't had
so
anybody yet.
you're in my boat at the moment. The stats that I've got right now, I am very encouraged with. I still do not have a conversion, but I'm also not terribly disappointed because I also understand that because I'm playing the long game, it is very possible that I will still get people to sign up, and it will be after I have finished my campaign with them because they'll go back and they'll read the email again.
And
And
you can
why?
start it over.
That's exactly right. Why will they do that? Because they trust you. They didn't necessarily up front, but they're seeing enough now. They're thinking through enough. Yeah, I can trust them. So if I could encourage you with that,
Thank you.
I would encourage you don't get disheartened. Certainly not right away. This business takes a little bit to learn, but once you get it down, I think you can do very well with it. A lot of people do.
Well, and I'll tell you kind of a side story now that we're going down this path a bit on the MLGS, which Pam is not in MLGS, but that's fine. That's just a lead thing, Pam, we could talk about later. But I prospected a guy that I've known him online through Facebook for a few years now. And so I prospected him about MLGS and just told him, hey, I got this thing. I didn't say it by name, but you get 100 leads a day and so on and so forth. And he sends back, wow, that sounds like MLGS. And I said, yeah, it is. I'm thinking, how does he know that? And he said, I'm in it. And I get the 100 leads a day and da 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 da. And so how you doing with it? He says, well, I send out emails every 7 days so that I'm not beating up the list. I don't know that you got to wait a week, but anyway, he told me he is at 90,000 leads now.
Holy cow.
So he's been with them a while, and so he gets signups now in his things because he's sending out 90,000 leads. Guess how much per month his MLGS cost has gone up?
It's gone down. Yeah, I was
Zero.
gonna say it's the
Still 30
same.
bucks a month.
Yeah.
Guess how much he's paying to send out 90,000 emails every time? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's all in the 30 bucks.
Yeah.
And that's why we're looking at it as a resource to do exactly what you're talking about, Charlie, building trust,
Yeah.
creating a presence that these people sooner or later, because that's how these other guys, the Brunsons and the Tony Robbinses and everybody, they just stayed in your presence
Yeah.
one way or another until you
Yep.
finally go, I just got to check these guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into some meat and potatoes about a couple other things that Tony mentioned, and then I'm going to give you kind of the icing on the cake for the day that I want you guys to see. But the filling the gap, and then it's why aren't you doing whatever you kind of like know you should be doing, kind of thing, and it's your stuck story. The what? It's the story you tell yourself to stay stuck. It's your stuck story. How does that work? And I think actually Wayne has heard me kind of address some of this, but Tony put it in, real nice encapsulated form, but it's the language we use to explain to ourselves why we're stuck. Well, and then worse is when we start defending it. What does that mean? Whenever you say to somebody who's like coaching you, or you're saying to yourself, or somebody's asking, why don't you like do this, do that, do the other thing? Well, whenever you hear, well, you don't understand my situation, right?
Sorry, that's a good one.
Yeah. And so Tony was pointing out, using the word my is giving yourself a death sentence. Well, you don't understand my problems. You see, my budget is this and my health is that, which can be legit. But his second part of it is you can have legit limitations, but that doesn't mean you can't find workarounds. You may have to get creative, but you have to stop owning and taking ownership by using I am sick, I am broke, I am, because your brain is hearing you say those words. I'm experiencing a deficit in my budget right now. I'm experiencing just that little bit of a shift can get you in the unstuck mindset. So it's our language that keeps us stuck, because and just calling yourself out on it. In my hypnosis clients, that was a huge thing. Well, you don't understand. I am a smoker. I am an addict. I am an alcoholic. No, not anymore. You are now free of that, and you have to just affirm that. Any more than, are you an ex-arsonist? No, I never was an arsonist. Then don't be an alcoholic anymore. Don't be an overeater. Don't be any of those things. Stop claiming ownership or even past ownership of those issues. You are now free to find a workaround, to find a different avenue, because you have a compelling, see how it all stitches together. Then you have a compelling future. You have a mark you want to make in the world. You've got a difference you want to make in your life, your family's life, and let that pull you forward and lose the language that continues to claim ownership. And whatever you do, don't fight for it. Well, you don't understand my problem. Okay.
Yep.
And on the one hand, it feels harsh, but on the other hand, it's the only way you're going to get past it. So we're going to wrap this up with I like Gemini and Copilot. I know that Chat GTP GPT is also, there's a few awesome ones out there now.
Yeah.
And what's really weird is each one has a little different personality.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you can even get into an argument with it if you're not careful.
I have to regularly tell myself, look, this is a tool. This is not a
Right.
person. It's a tool.
It is, or exactly.
Yep. Yep.
So on it was either day 3 or the bonus day. He invited a couple of people. I mean, what's the biggest Zoom or live event where you were like watching on YouTube as part of the audience that you've ever seen or been on?
Mm. I've done one that was several hundred people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we're doing something like this, if you got 200 or 300 people, that's huge.
Yep.
I mean, it is huge. Face it. So this time I knew I wasn't going to spend any money on the deal. I just wanted to take in the Tony, that he's delivering, because I know he's going to deliver it whether I paid the buck to upgrade and be on the
Yep.
Zoom side or not. So on the YouTube side, it shows you though how many people are actively viewing. 45,000.
Wow.
And he was saying right now, they have several. I've been on the other one on Zoom. They actually break it down into rooms
Mm-hmm.
because each room can only hold 1.2 million Zoom participants. And on the high side, there was 95,000 YouTubers. Like numbers beyond imagination. COVID was part of that deal. And Dean Graciosi was talking about when they had to cancel a whole bunch of live events. And Tony's like, in Tony fashion, we're going to have to find a workaround here. What are we going to do? Well, I guess we're going to have a studio and we can do this virtually, between YouTube and Zoom and so on. We don't have a studio. And it's going to have to be a nice one. So Dean was saying Tony built a studio for $22 million.
Oh, wow.
I mean, hello, right? To do these deals in. And so huge walls with, thousands of screens. So in the studio, you can look and see a bunch of people and so on and so forth. So 22 million for that. Anyway, so on this particular event, it's how to construct your why should somebody do business with you talk. We also know it as like your 30 to 90-second elevator pitch. And this was very telling. You got this really nice lady who is a urgent care veterinarian. And so he says, okay, she's on there doing her thing. She's going to participate. He says, all right, so simple question. Somebody calls you or comes to see you. Why should they bring their pet to you? Well, because first of all, I can see them and I will see them and I will treat them, because when I was young, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to take care of animals, and I spent time going to the right schools, and I became because I really love animals. And she went on for 2 or 3 minutes and he just listened, and she got all done. And he says, everybody give her a clap for participating. Now I'm going to go do business with somebody else because all you did was spent 3 minutes telling me why you wanted to be a veterinarian and not a thing about except You will see my animal, my dog or my cat. So will they. I didn't hear a thing about why I should do business with you. And she's, it's Tony. He's not going to crush me in public. Right. So then he gave her some tips, and then he did a talk, like, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds worth of, because you're going to bring your pet to me. I'm going to take care of them. We use the highest quality materials and drugs and tools and whatever, for your pet. And you will leave satisfied because your pet will be taken care of, and all about them. And as he was pointing out, it has to be all about them. Nobody cares why you're doing it. They want to know, what am I going to get out of doing business with you? So between past experience and Copilot, now this is specifically for Melaleuca at this point, but you could tailor this to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built around what do you do for a living? And then you tell them a thing, right? I was talking with another coach today who made a really good point. You're after, as quickly as you can get it, either a good solid no, or not interested, or tell me more. If you don't get one or the other within, in his case, his main thing was phone calling, but you either want a no or a, oh, cool, or really, how do you do that? Tell me more. So what I'm going to show you is based on, I got a reason to share the what do I do speech, right? And it could be this simple. Are you ready for this? So Wayne, in the spirit of not holding back, let me tell you what I do now. Let me tell you what I've been involved in, or what I'm involved in the spirit of not holding back. And then I'm into it so that they don't have to ask, what do you do for a living? Right? I can lead right into it. And now I'm going to do a screen share so that you can see a couple things. And I want you to not read this on the screen that you're going to see. I bring it up so I can read it, but I want you to know that it's there for you. Okay, you can jot this down. The address for this, it's the beginnings of our team tool page. And it is tools.nodoubts.net.
Okay.
And there's two versions, as you can see here. PDF that you can download, and an HTML page that you can just pull it up on the screen to read it or print it. And here it is. Now this, I did the raw text, and Copilot didn't change it all that much, but just kind of close your eyes and take this in, or you can read it, whatever. I can see you though, remember that. And I started out saying, hey, Charlie, you know what, in the spirit of not holding back, I want you to know what I've been involved in. I work directly with people to improve their lifestyle by turning the money they already spend on everyday products and turn them into business revenue. Most people don't realize it, but they're sitting on a built-in income stream. They just haven't tapped into it yet. Some folks use it to create a little extra breathing room each month. Others replace their day job. And a few take it all the way to new zip code levels of income. It all depends on what they want and how far they want to go. But my job is to guide them. Now, what's the odds that they're going to say, how do you do that? Or what? Look, Everyone already buys daily use products from their favorite store. We partner with a 40-year-old US manufacturer that makes around 450 of those same types of products in 6 facilities around the country, only theirs are cleaner and greener. If someone chooses to switch stores and shop with this manufacturer instead, they can actually get paid. Their current store doesn't pay them a dime for shopping there. Ours does, for shopping and for referring customers. It's simple. Change stores, change your life. Pause. And while they're in that moment of, look, I can send you a simple checklist to see whether this store carries things you already buy. Just check the boxes next to the products you use. Each item has a little point value. If your list hits 35 points or more, that's a strong sign we should take a closer look, because it means you're already spending the money. You're just not getting paid for it yet. Would you like me to send that list? What do you think?
Sounds good.
That is good.
Now, then in typical AI fashion, Copilot said, I can make a shorter version, and I can do a longer version, and I can do a version that's based around a story. So I'm going to do the short version. So Wayne, in the interest of like not holding anything back, I got to tell you what I'm involved in here. I help people turn the money they already spend on everyday products into income. We work with a US manufacturer that pays people for shopping and referring customers. And if you want, I can show you a quick list to see if it makes sense for you. Boom. So all 3 elements are in that one blurb. The longer version is longer, but the one I wasn't even thinking of that Copilot came up with, it said, and I can do this story-based version. What's that? Well, it goes like this. So, Charlie, a while back, I realized something. Every family I knew, including mine, was spending money every month on the same everyday products, same stores, same brands, same routine, and none of those stores ever said thank you, let alone paying anybody for being loyal. Then I met someone who showed me, and you see how it's a storyline now of my story, right? So this is up there where you can print it off, or on this page, you could also get the PDF version. And there you are.
Thank you so
Excellent.
much. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. Putting it all together, it's a combination of things that came through these 3 days, 4 days actually. The biggest ones, those permission lines, I call them. Hey, you know what? In the spirit of not holding back, I got to tell you, you just get that in the spirit of not holding back, you can say anything, right? And then a big one is you really need to realize you're playing the long game. Tony talked a little bit about, these quick fixes and stuff, they're just not out there of any value. And then realizing too that if you've got this compelling future, you do need to be able to measure, can the chosen tool that you've picked fulfill that all the way out? And if it can, great. Is it fulfilling the right thing for you? If you're all turned on by something and you realize this company you're involved in just doesn't turn your motor over, yeah. Well, then find one that does. It just happened as I was evaluating that for myself with Melaleuca. If I want to be in health, diets, nutrition, money, snacks, beef, I mean, there is no category I could pick that they actually don't have a dozen or more products in that line, in that category. So cool. And the money is good. And then finding out what he didn't say it this way exactly, but it's what excuses have I been holding on to? And I found my own excuses that you just kept me from talking to some of the people I should have and taking some of the steps I should have, and then I was already teaching people. I've already got clients where they've heard me say, stop taking ownership by using the words my and I am, my sickness, my brokenness, you don't, and the worst, you don't understand my problem. You don't understand my situation. Dude, now you're getting into a fist fight with yourself over, so the final thing I want to leave you with, and then we'll throw it open for questions and input, but because this was a big one in Tony's realm, he helps people understand you've got an inner warrior and you've got an inner magician and an inner king or queen and an inner lover and so on. In my coaching realm, it's a little broader than that, but I would tell people you've got an inner winner, an inner loser, you've got an inner quitter and an inner striver, right? You've got all these little inner identities, and they to help them get a handle on that. Just think about yourself. Have you ever been in a decision where you've got one voice that's saying, yeah, let's do that, and you got another voice saying, no, 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 bad idea, bad idea. No, I really want to do, I want to spend the money, I want to do the thing, I want to get involved with that. No, you don't need to back and forth, right? I should be doing this, I should. No, don't do that because you'll be embarrassed. Well, once we know we've actually got that going on, and those are literally personality parts of your ego, yourself. But what nobody told them is this: there is a higher part of you that's listening to both sides, waiting for one of them to win the argument. And then that part of you will weigh, okay, you won the argument, the one that said do it, or the one that said don't do that. And then that higher self will usually lean into the winner. Sometimes it doesn't. It says, no, you know what? I'm just going to do this instead. That's the part of you that needs to be in charge all the time. And let those other voices, if they're not supporting you, not making you feel stronger, then you can just tell that part when it creeps up and says, no, you'll be embarrassed, or no, thank you for sharing, but you are dismissed now. And you literally say those words to yourself. Say them in public and watch people's reaction. No. Right?
That would be different.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's, and it takes discipline to do that and shut those voices that are not supporting. It's not a good or a bad, it's just supporting or not supporting. And you'll make progress with that compelling future. And then having some tools that you feel like, hey, even I can do that. Even I can say that. Even I can use that, right? All right, cool. That's my speech for today.
Thank you so much. Very good.
All
So
right.
Jim, on your and maybe we need to do this one-on-one, but I can't remember exactly what you had shared regarding how you were doing MLGS. Were you doing your own subject lines and emails, or were you using
Well,
others?
I was using some of his and making some up, and I'm still working on them.
Okay. Okay.
And
All right.
found some definitely you don't want to do. Like,
Yep.
don't use a subject line that makes the reader, the receiver, feel like you're putting them down.
Right. Yep.
That's worked on me before. I mean, what do you mean? I'm going to read this email just so I can see what kind of a dummy this guy is. But
Yeah.
yeah, the open rate dropped significantly.
Yeah.
In fact, I can do a quick screen share here. Let me get on the correct screen. And then go back over here. Share. and I was like, almost had my feelings hurt. It was, yeah. So,
Mm.
um, I might have changed it on this one. And here's one that just, you can see I had an open rate of 8%. This is Vicky's account. To when this happens, don't do this. Well, so now I'm learning the don't do's, the negative stuff, the don't take action, don't do, just completely tanked. This one is brand new. And it's a repeat of this one down here that had a 19% open rate.
Mm-hmm.
But I changed this one. Well, no, this is the one I left the same. This goes to the 7-figure club side that we've all got set up. Because if they click and fill in the form, this one we get it. If they fill the form in or do whatever, click on the MLGS links, we don't see any of that. We can't see who they are. Where here, if they fill the form out on the 7-figure, or if you've got another landing page that you're using, then that's going to come to you. So that was why Val, my sponsor, created that whole 7-figure side, so that when somebody does action, you actually get that lead and you can see who they were. Let's see here. So I'm going to go over to Vicky or my account. Log out. And I think I stopped sharing momentarily. Share again. Yeah, broke can be fixed. Broken, that wasn't a good one either. Subject line. And this one's like, I just literally sent this email out about an hour ago. So, but it was a good one. Here I've had two 20%ers. So, and then the click-through rate on that one was pretty high on this one too. So yeah, you just experiment. But along the way, what's happening? Well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 touches so far from Jim. Or actually, it's from Vicky. They're all from Vicky, that they say. I know that if I was emailing people I know, and it was all through email, it would take 10 touches, even for them that know me, to,
Mm-hmm.
To say, God, maybe I'll take a look. He keeps sending this to me. So we'll stop sharing.
And are you sending it from your name or from the
No, from my name. Not,
okay.
I'm not having it come from the MLGS
Okay.
sender.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to brand me. And you
Yes.
want to brand you.
Yep. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Are you just emailing about the lead system?
Oh, no. No, I've been going back and forth. Two
So
or
I was
three.
wondering about that. Will that confuse them at all, or
No.
okay?
And believe me when I tell you, don't worry about confusing them. you know, they're not tracking it that close. The only thing that they're looking at is, does this subject line make me feel like I want to open this thing, or does it irritate me, or does it make me feel bad? You know, does the energy of the subject line make me want to open that email? And then inside, does the copy say something to me that says I'm going to get something from reading this and doing this? But they're not connecting any other dots like, well, it used to be, you know, about leads, and now it's about whatever else you wanted to say.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And part of the tool set that I'll be putting up there, as I feel like, okay, this letter, this content seems to be performing well, I'll put it up on that same tool page so you can just copy it and paste it.
Thank you. Good.
Cool.
You are my master. So.
Okay, well, we're working at it. So
Man,
Pam,
I appreciate the time.
Yeah, want to give Pam a chance to jump in if she wants, or. And this was recorded, so I'll pop that up on the tool page. I can put it up on the tool page. Hey, good idea, Jim. All right, she's being quiet over there, so we'll wrap this one up. Let you guys get on with the rest of your evening.
I'm here now. I couldn't unmute, but I don't have anything to add. I'd like to re-listen though.
Okay, good. Yep.
So it's a lot of stuff I didn't understand that y'all talked about that I wasn't familiar with.
Right. Yeah, the MLGS thing is it's a lead source. We can take that up whenever, different time when you've got, you know, some time, and I'll go over it with you.
Sounds
And
good.
you'll pick some of that up just from here.
Right. From hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Y'all have a good evening.
Hey, thank you guys very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.